Hey guys, welcome back. Hey, it is season 2, episode 17 of 5 Random Airports and Airfields. I know it's been forever and a day, but here I am. This is going to be the last episode of 5 Random Airports and Airfields for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So we're going to just jump right in here and take a look, and then we'll be moving on to 2024 when it's released. First up is going to be Juneau International Airport. This is going to be PAJN. This is 8,447 feet of runway. This is going to be the payware add-on from Northern Sky Studios, from which I acquired from Orbix. Now, my reasoning to do this was because I just last month in September, I just got back from a 7-day cruise to Alaska, and Juneau was one of the stops. So as soon as I got home, I couldn't wait to get into Flight Simulator and see what each one of these looked like. So I went out and bought three of the airports of the ports of call that we went to, and then I wanted to share some other interesting little tidbits about these different locations. So here we are taking a look at the airport itself. The signage is really good. I love all the visual effects with the smoke. And this is a great little add-on. It really brings this airport to life. Now, when I was there, I didn't get to see the airport. I was close, but I didn't get to see the airport. But from what I understand, all the signage is 100% correct. And what I really like about this is that you can go inside the actual airport and explore. So we'll do that here in a second. There's a cool little view inside the tower. Now we're going to take a walk through the terminal. I had no idea that the interior of this airport would be as detailed as it is. I mean, it's a multi-level or two-level airport, two-story building, and both levels are modeled in the add-on. And these add-ons aren't they're not overly expensive. I don't remember what I paid for this one. Pretty cool. So here we are in the upper level. Alaskan Amber Beer. So one of my main reasons for doing this was that when you're in these different ports, you find places that have a little bit of history. And I found a place in Juneau that was actually, and we wandered into it totally by mistake. And it was kind of a cool little building, and my brother was with me, and we discussed it, and we both kind of thought that it had to have had some kind of aviation history. And after looking at some of the pictures on the walls and wandering around inside the building, we realized that it was actually it was an airport at one time for seaplanes. So that was really a cool find. So I'm gonna, as soon as we're done here with the airport, I'm gonna take you over and show you that, and show you some real life pictures versus what it looks like in Flight Simulator. But really good detail here on this airport. I was really impressed. And I kind of rounded it out. I bought Juneau, Sitka, and Ketchikan. And I have two other ports, which are, one didn't have anything for it, and the last one will be Victoria, and I'm just going off a default on that one. But that is going to be it for the add-on itself. Now we're going to shoot over to where the ships would have docked. Now we're coming up on Juneau here. Now when we were there were 4 cruise ships here. So this is what the area that we're looking at. And the area that I'm talking about is going to be this orange and white building down there. Now I'm going to jump out. I'm going to go grab a screenshot of the real life building so you can see it. Okay, so it's the blue building there off in the distance. And here's a better shot. Now I know I cut the building off, but that is it close up. And here is a picture of the original building when it was Alaska Coastal Airlines. And there is the Flight Simulator rendition of it. Now our ship was actually parked I believe we were parked right there. Make sure if you're going to do any flying in this area, get the Misty Mooring stuff. It is phenomenal. It has done so much for some of these areas and region in this region. It's a really good add-on, and it's totally free. And I was kind of showing this. Juneau is kind of one big tourist trap. A lot of stores, a lot of jewelry stores, a lot of gift stores. But if you go there, make sure that you buy from a locally owned gift shop and not one of the cruise line owned ones. But it was a cool place to visit. And that's going to do it for Juneau. Alright, so next up is going to be Rocky Gutierrez International Airport in Sitka. This is going to be PASI, and this is also by Northern Sky Studios. The runway is 7,200 feet. This is another really well done airport. The interiors of the terminal are done, and I love how it looks in Flight Simulator. And this area, if you've ever been there, it is positively gorgeous. Sitka, I fell in love with Sitka. And we were only there for one day, and it was not enough. But check out the detail here at the airport. The power lines, the lights. And if you ever go there and you do the cruise ship thing to Sitka, make sure you get hooked up with the Cool Bus. The people that run it, the gal that was driving our bus, she was actually the acting school principal for the school there, for the high school there. So she was very informative and told us a lot about Sitka. But as you can see just by looking at it, place is absolutely gorgeous. And Flight Simulator captures it remarkably well. Now, I am also using Bing Maps too. Really good rock work there along the runway. So now let's go take a look at the terminal buildings. Now, as I've said before, my my flight simulator is totally messed up. I don't have any of the ground crews anymore, and I've pretty much just given up on trying to fix it. And given that 2024 is supposed to be out, I think, what is it, next month, I'm just gonna do away with 2020 and start over with 2024. But of course, all these airports, they'll all work in it. At least they better. Busy parking lot. That's cool. And again, the interior is just just fantastic detail. That's about all I can say. Except a lot of these guys look a lot like the people that were at Juneau. Now, of course, because when I was there, I did not get to visit any of the airports. It was strictly the cruise ship, but so this was something I just had to do when I got home. Cool little lounge. I like that the vehicles have Alaska on them. Just little things like that add so much to the quality of the add-on. And the building they all have the correct names. And that's going to be it for PASI. And now we're going to go over to what used to be this whole island. From the way I understand it, was all military base at one point. And what we're going to be looking at here is now actually college and possibly the high school. But we got to drive through here. And that little thing that you're looking at down there, that is where they used to launch the seaplanes from. And when you drive on this, you'll definitely notice, I mean, it doesn't show it in Flight Simulator, but that is like tarmac almost. But there's the buildings as how they appear in Flight Simulator. Now I'm going to bring up and show you the video. Alright, so as you drive into this, all the old buildings. I mean, this was back from the 40s. And this was a huge military base. And everything looks, I mean, there's things that you just see and they look military. And these buildings were all how military offices. And then the hangar, that building over off to the right, that was the actual hangar. And then the tower, which is still there. And she joked that they used that to catch students skipping class. But pretty freaking cool to see this. I mean, to think that they used to roll military seaplanes out of that building and then taxi them out to the harbor. All right, so here we are going back the opposite direction. We're going to come up on the ramp that you can see in Flight Simulator that they would roll the planes down. This harbor was really pretty. A lot of cool buildings to see. Yeah, there, right here. This would have been the ramp. And it is still there today. As far as this, the cool bus, it's $40 a head, but she's there for you all day, and she takes you anywhere in Sitka you want to go. And we'll pick you up and make sure you get back to the ship. So then going out here, this was some kind of fueling station at some point that had to do with the military. So that is pretty much it. And I thought that was all really, really kind of cool to see. See there again, looking back. This is just going back over. When you're in Sitka and you come in on a cruise ship, you're going to come in from the opposite direction that we're facing right here. I think I went out to the where the port is. No, that's not it. But totally impressed with yeah, here we are further out, and the port is right here, and you can see where the docks are, the main buildings, two great big buildings, and then all the buses come in and pick you up. But that is Sitka. And we're going to go ahead and jump on to the next one. So next up is going to be Icy Strait Point. This is going to be Hoonah, Alaska. And the airport there is PAOH. And it is just a little airport. It's only 2,981 feet of runway. But I'm going to show you kind of where you come in on a cruise ship versus this is the actual village of Hoonah, and it is an Alaskan native village. And we didn't go into the village when we were there. We just went to what would have been the old cannery and the kind of the hub where the cruise ships are. And in hindsight, I kind of wish I'd gone to Hoonah now. But that's what the next trip's going to be for. And Icy Strait Point is a stopping point after you've done Glacier Bay. And what's really cool, when you see all this, this is how it looks. I mean, I was amazed at how good Flight Simulator depicted this region. especially Huna. And I'm assuming this is probably Misty Moorings that is doing this. Now here is what would have been the port right there. You would have docked right on that and then walked right in through that building, and then you walk around and down to what would have been the old cannery, which is those buildings there that are depicted the way they are. That, of course, this does no justice. This is absolutely beautiful in real life, but it's still very good. I'll go ahead and we're going to jump out. I'm going to show you the actual buildings. Okay, so we're going to zoom back out here. Now we're going to jump into the real pictures of Icy Strait Point. Now there's the, that would be the congregating area, and then this is the old cannery. And this is my favorite picture, the old cannery. You go walk around this place. There's gift shops all over inside. And now here, this is funny. First time I looked at this, I thought this was real. No, this is from Flight Simulator. Next one coming up is real. But beautiful sunset there. Next up is going to be Ketchikan, and this is, I believe this one's by Orbix. And this is PAKT, and it's 7,500 feet of runway. Now, I really like the detail on this one as well, especially some of the elevation features that are included with the airport itself. But this was a beautiful spot. In Ketchikan, we did not go off the ship in Ketchikan. This was like our last big port, and we had just kind of had enough and decided to stay on the ship that day. But I did get some really good shots of downtown, and I will share those. There was nothing. I mean, I'm sure there's a little history buried here somewhere, but I didn't go looking for it this time. But look, check out the detail of this airport. And what I like here is that it shows the actual elevation of the road. And it depicts the road going down to what would be the ferry to go across to the other side. But really a nice add-on. I think I've had this one for quite a while, but I haven't done a lot of exploring with it. And what's funny, when you're on a cruise ship, all this looks so small, but in reality, I mean, we didn't get to see any part of Ketchikan here. I mean, from the cruise ship, you're only going to see what you see up here. And there was so much more. And we actually came in really early, so we didn't get to really pay that much attention when the ship was docking. But this is going to be the main area that you spend most of your time in anyway. And our ship was parked right there in the back. There were 5 cruise ships docked here when we were here. It was crazy. And that was one of the reasons we didn't get off the ship. So let's throw in a couple of those pictures. Alright, so as you can see in the picture, there are a lot of people down there. And then here's a angle from when our ship was leaving. And That captures the moment really well there. So then we're going to go down here and take a look at, I believe, the Coast Guard and their facility in Ketchikan. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the first picture. The next two pictures are of the Coast Guard facility. The facility and the boat. And now back to Flight Simulator. So I think that's going to be it for Ketchikan. One of the other cool things is in Ketchikan, and next time I'm definitely getting off the ship. We just absolutely didn't feel like doing it this time around, but next time, and we're already talking about a next time. So, all right, now here we are with. This is going to be Victoria, British Columbia. This is CYYJ, Victoria International. 3 runways, 5,035 feet of runway, 6,966 and 4,976 feet of runway. Now, I didn't go with a payware add-on for this one because I hardly ever fly here. And this was one of the ports of call, and we didn't get in till it was, I think, like 6 o'clock at night, and we were only in port for a few hours. So, or it was at 8 o'clock or something like that. So we didn't really get to visit Victoria. We just opted to stay on the ship. And for me, I think the default does a fairly good job. I was looking at one payware version that actually really enticed me, but maybe later. And we only got to see Victoria at night, so we got in, and I think we only had like 3 hours. So it wasn't a whole lot, and it was getting kind of late at that point. In fact, as soon as we pulled in, another bigger ship pulled in alongside us and totally blocked our view of Victoria. I found this kind of interesting, what all this is. Scenery anomalies. Okay, so from here I decided to go find where the ship actually ties up at in relation to the airport. And I wasn't that far off. So here we are looking at, this would be downtown Victoria, the main part of Victoria. I believe the airport is up north. But this area coming up here on the left, this is where the cruise ships dock. And it's really kind of interesting. I would have loved to have seen this in the daytime. And then there's your landmarks. I mean, that's what I remember seeing. I remember coming over on a ferry from Seattle and seeing that building there. But a lot of graphic anomalies here. But you know, it was back in the 80s when I saw Victoria originally with my family. And it's still a gorgeous place. And I think this would be the kind of place I would want to spend 2 or 3 days in. But Flight Simulator does a pretty remarkable job at recreating the environment. So there it is. It is dark. The sun's gone down. There's one of the landmarks there. And I think this is going to be it for episode 17, and that's going to close out season 2. Season 3 will start up with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and we're going to kind of go on to some different things, I think. But I'm going to still keep this series up. And there was the port in the dark. And I will post a couple pictures here of what we could see from our cabin. Alright, well, and there's a picture of the port area, and then there's a picture of the bridge. At least I think that's the bridge. But that was the best I could get at night. And here we are back to Flight Simulator. And as soon as that other ship pulled in next to us, we couldn't see anything. So I think that will do it for this video. I hope you have all enjoyed this, and I apologize for my absence as of late, but I just really haven't had a deep desire to do this. And I'm hoping Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 reignites that fire. So we'll see you in the next video. We'll see you in season 3. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching.